One of the biggest criticisms handed out to lawyers is that they are terrible listeners. They talk a lot, but listen too little. A part of this accusation has to do with the fact that listening is, arguably, the most difficult aspect of human communication. Our understanding of what we hear depends on our reasonable interpretation of the message. If I don't understand what my client truly wants to express, my work output will be affected. In order to be effective listeners, we have to listen supportively. And the person transmitting the message must believe that we are understanding and reacting in a manner that meets their expectations. Making someone feel like they are being heard is a truly subjective element, one that is harder to quantify or train for. Research suggests that most lawyers are terrible listeners for one of 4 primary reasons. 1. We prefer to talk about ourselves. 2. We think that listening to people with opinions different from ours is a waste of our time. 3. Listening is physically exhausting. And finally, engaging with other people triggers a sense of vulnerability. You must first identify which of these factors affects you the most. It's only then can we work towards fixing the issue and becoming better listeners. Now, how can you become a better listener? Unless you are leading a conversation or making a presentation, set a listening goal. Speak 25% of the time and listen 75% of the time. It's very important to maintain eye contact. This exhibits sincerity, focus, and receptiveness.
In the fast-paced world of corporate law, tomorrow's legal leaders need to be more than just traditional expertise. Introducing the LLM in Corporate and Financial Law, a groundbreaking program brought to you by Jindal Global Law School in partnership with upGrad. Designed for the legal professionals of tomorrow, this innovative blended learning program combines academic rigor with real-world application. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to elevate your career with the LLM in corporate and financial law.
Ask clarificatory questions throughout the conversation. For instance, if a client comes to you and says that they are in the business of manufacturing pharmaceuticals, consider asking the client how they intend to distribute the drugs. Not only does this show that you are paying attention, it also provides you an opportunity to stand out as a lawyer by highlighting how the licensing regime could change according to the client's answer. You should also practice mirroring. This is a technique whereby you restate, repeat, or paraphrase what the speaker has just said and ask whether you have accurately understood the speaker. Mirroring is incredibly effective, not just as a listening skill, but also as a negotiation tactics. It brings the speaker to your side. Another way to indicate active listening is to make expressions, comments, and sounds to show that you're paying attention. Some sample phrases that may work are right, I see. A significant way to improve at listening is through effective note-taking. That being said, it isn't appropriate in all settings, and it's a subjective call that I will let you make. It's important to develop a tolerance for pauses and silences too. If a speaker is taking a breath or just collecting their thoughts, don't treat that as an opportunity to jump in, interrupt. Jumping the gun is really a sign of a bad listener. Finally, listening allows you to demonstrate empathy and compassion. Both of these are crucial soft skills that are often ignored in professional settings. By truly understanding the other side's interests and concerns, you can create a connection and respond in an appropriate manner. You should be engaging in active listening even while watching this course to make the most of it. It will help you grasp all the concepts, nuances, and subtleties that may not seem clear at first glance. One of the most important aspects of active listening is asking the right question. For lawyers, questions can be game changers. They can uncover new information, move discussions forward, and ensure that everyone's on the same page. Broadly speaking, there are 3 types of questions that you can use in your professional life. First are close-ended questions, questions that have a yes or no answer. These can be used to understand the central point of an issue or to resolve disagreements. For instance, in a contractual negotiation, you can ask the counterparty if they are okay with a particular clause. This will get you a clear yes or no answer and drive the discussion forward. Second are open-ended questions. These can be leveraged to find necessary information. For example, in a discussion with a client, you can inquire about their business priorities in order to better understand their interests. And third and finally are clarificatory questions to ensure that all information is clearly understood. In a group discussion, for instance, you can paraphrase something that another party has said and ask if that is an accurate summary. This is also a great example of mirroring something that we discussed earlier.